Hello everyone, my name is Jillian Wan. I currently live on the Rosebud Reservation where I'm an office manager at Sichongu Propane. I am also co-host of the Morning Tea on Hits 96.1, so if you've ever wanted to match the voice to the face, well, here it is. I also host the new video podcast called 7 Gen Voices. The reason I am doing this mini course today is because we all need to know more about the census. And we all know that we lack funding for many of our local programs here, and it's been an ongoing issue. And in order for us to receive more funding, we need to work on having an accurate count of our population here on the Rosebud Reservation. Today, I'm here to provide you with some very basic information about the census, how you can respond, and some vital information that is specific to the Rosebud Reservation. In a future class, we'll dive deeper into some more detailed information about the census, but for today, we'll keep it pretty simple. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to share this video with your friends on Facebook right at this moment. So, to start us off, what is the census? Well, most of you probably already know what the census is, but if you need some clarification, the census counts every person living in the United States and its 5 territories. The census count is conducted every 10 years. Why is the census important? For many reasons. The census provides information to lawmakers, business owners, teachers, and basically anyone who provides a service or product that supports you and your community. The results of the census also determines the number of seats that each state will have in the House of Representatives. And lastly, something very important is that every year billions of dollars of federal funding go to hospitals, fire department, schools, roads, and other programs. Now, let's go back to what I said. Every year, billions of dollars go to these programs. But because not everyone responds to the census, we miss out on a lot of that money that we really, really need. All right, now let's get into the most important part of all of this. How can you respond? There are 3 different ways, actually. You can respond either by mail, by phone, or online. I'll give you more details on those options in just a little bit, but for right now, I do want to tell you that the Census Bureau will never ask you for your full Social Security number, your bank account, or your credit card numbers. So, if they do, just know that is not the census that is reaching out to you. I've seen too many situations where elders have been taken advantage of or they've been scammed, so let's just look out for them and not let that happen. If you're wondering who should be counted and where, well, you should be counted where you are living and sleeping the most of the time as of April 1st, 2020. That's an important date. If you are responding for your home, count everyone who is living and sleeping there most of the time as of April 1st of this year. This includes young children, foster children, roommates, any family members or friends who are living with you, even temporarily. If someone is staying with you temporarily on April 1st due to the COVID-19 situation, they should actually be counted where they usually live. This includes college students who should still be counted at their school. Even if they are home early because of the COVID-19 situation, if they live in student housing, the college will count them on their own. If they live off campus, they should complete the census for their off-campus address and include any roommates or other people living there. If someone is staying with you on April 1st who doesn't have a usual home elsewhere, well, please include them in your response. Also, it's going to make a huge difference if you put the head of household down as Native American. Well, as long as they are actually Native American, of course, but that will make a huge difference. So please remember that. Moving on, an important date. The deadline to self-respond to the census is September 30th. It's already August. We don't have much time. Now, as individuals, that day seems really far away. But looking from the standpoint that we are trying to include all of our 20 communities, this really is just not enough time to get an accurate count of the census. Our self-response rate is going to reflect an extreme undercount on all reservations. The COVID-19 pandemic has hindered the census this decade. Not only do we have the pandemic working against us, but we have all these other issues like lack of good internet, non-working telephones, inaccurate home addresses, lack of funding to simply promote the census. All of these things are working against us. But that is why we have to take charge of this situation, and we should be doing everything that we can to make sure that we are counted in the census. As natives, we're really good at overcoming anything that comes our way. That is something that has been embedded within us thanks to our ancestors. This census, this decade is so important for our future, and I don't know how many other ways that I can express that with you. That's why I keep saying that the time is now. We should be asking our coworkers, our neighbors, our friends, our family if they have filled out their census form yet. It should be our priority. We should be doing everything that we can to encourage and help everyone get this form filled out. Just today I got some upsetting news. I was made aware that only 5.5% of our residents have been counted by the census. 5.5% compared to the current response rate of 60% for the entire United States. Each person counted brings in about almost $1,600 in federal funds each year. This continued undercount of the Rosewood Sioux tribe costs the entire community about $16,000 per person every 10 years. That comes out to about $303.2 million that we're missing out on. So many of our tribal members are not being counted. That's about 19,000 of our tribal members. When I look back to when that $1,200 stimulus check came out, everyone was so sure to make sure that their bank accounts and home addresses were up to date. Everyone was doing whatever it took to make sure that they got that $1,200 check. If you want to help your community and help your people, make the census just as much of a priority as that stimulus check was to you. Again, when you fill out your census, each person brings in about $15,960 in allocated funds every 10 years. Can you imagine what those funds would do for our programs here? All I have to say to that is we are missing out, and we're missing out big time. We need to take charge of this situation, and we need to change it. The form only takes 10 minutes, and there are now 3 different ways to respond to the census. This is now the first time that the census is being conducted online. Let's go ahead and use that to our advantage. Borrow your friend's laptop. Borrow their cell phone. Ask the tribe if you can use their internet to fill out your census form. Do whatever you can. Let's jump into some more numbers here. So we only have 10 enumerators hired by the government to help with the census. 10. That is not nearly enough to cover all of Rosebud, but that's all we have to work with. Out of those 10 enumerators, only 2 of them speak Lakota. And the reason why I'm giving you these really harsh facts is because we deserve more than this. Our youth deserves more. Imagine the opportunities our kids will have if they had access to better education, better access to after-school programs. This could literally change their life. This can create a better future. And that is why the Census CDC is doing this class. It's because we are all well aware of everything we have working against us, yet we want Rosebud to come out on top as one of the reservations that succeeded in self-response to the census. How amazing would that be if other natives look to us as an example? We don't have a lot of time, but if we start pressuring our friends, our family, then that 5.5% response rate can increase in just a few weeks. We can make it happen. We can do it. And before I end this, I just want to give you a reminder that if you don't self-respond to the census, either by mail, phone, or online, they will begin showing up at your doorstep. Those people are your friends. Those people want you to be counted. So please be respectful to them. If you have a dog, please tie your dog up so that those workers can simply do their job and help you fill out your census form. And remember, there are 3 ways to do this. You can fill out the form online, which in my opinion is the easiest way. You can go to www.2020census.gov. You can also mail in your census form that was either dropped off at your home or mailed to you. You can also respond by phone by calling 844-330-2020. And also, there is a very helpful YouTube video on the Census CDC Facebook page featuring Katrina Fuller, where she tells you everything you need to know about the census, and it's very specific to the Rosebud Reservation. Stay tuned for the next census class coming up in the very near future, where we will jump a little more into detail. We'll give you some updates, and we'll even have a very special guest who has some important knowledge on the census. And lastly, right now, please fill out the survey down in the link. And if you are one of the first 20 people to do this, you'll receive a $15 gift card. How exciting! You get $15 just for watching this class. Please spread this information to your friends, your coworkers, and your family. And remember, the time is now.